Hello, my name is Zach and I designed ShotLister. Today I am going to be showing you how to create your very first shooting schedule. Are you excited? I know you are. That's why you clicked on this link. Alright, if you don't know what ShotLister is, it is an app for creating shot lists and shooting schedules, and it's the best one out there, so you should get it. Haha, just kidding. Don't trust me, I'm the one who designed it. Anyway, we are going to be building on work that we've done before, which was building a shot list tutorial. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and check that out. If you know how to build a shot list, then you are doing just fine, and I'm going to show you how to build a shooting schedule. So the first thing we need to do is go down here, and instead of scene mode, we need to go to shoot day mode. So what you're going to see is a calendar. Some platforms you'll just see a list of your shoot days, but if you're on the iPad in landscape mode, you will see a calendar, which just makes it easier to visualize things. Not much you can do here other than create shoot days. You can move back and forth between different months here and switch between different projects here, but basically what we're going to do is create a shoot day. Today where I am is, what day is it today? It's August 2nd. Alright, so I'm going to click on August 2nd and I'm going to create a new shoot day called tutorial. And then you can change the date if you want to and set the call time, wrap time, and lunch time. Just going to leave those as is for now and click save. So now you can see I've got a shoot day. The 4 is basically which shoot day it is. So I have 3 shoot days before this, and this will be the 4th one. And I'm going to click on that and open it up. So here we are inside of an empty shoot day. You can see on the left we've got all of our shoot day statistics. We've got the nickname, we've got the available time, which is basically the amount of time between the call time and the wrap time. So right now it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., so that is 12 hours. This shows 0 because I have not added any shots. As I add shots and add duration to those shots, ShotLister will work its magic and start adding up how much work I have put into the day and make sure that it is under 12 hours. Lunchtime is just for your reference, so is sunrise and sunset. You can change those if you like, but basically those are just for your reference. If you export a PDF and whatnot, those numbers will be on there. Statistics also just for your reference to see how many pages you're shooting in a day and all that kind of good info. Alright, now the moment you've been waiting for, how to build a schedule. So first step, we click the plus button, which is going to bring up all the scenes that we have. We have 77Z here, which is a garbage scene that we created just for tutorial purposes, which we're going to ignore. We are going to bring in scene 8, the idol. Here it comes. Alright, so as you can see, we are given a big header here, which is our scene header. So because call time is 7 a.m., this is starting at 7 a.m. And it also has the scene name here and the total duration of this scene, which is 0 because all the scenes inside of it are 0. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is start adding some time. So idle push in, well, yeah, okay, we're going to push into that idle. That's probably going to take 40 minutes. Through the sand, that's a close-up, so maybe that's only 25. Indy's feet, yeah, that's pretty simple, we're already there. Over the altar, oh wow, you know, Spielberg's going to take forever for that one, so we're going to give that one an hour, and you know, let's just keep going through here, and you're basically making the decision of how long each thing is going to take. As you get through here, you get to a time that, for example, is 4 hours and 10 minutes, which seems like a good enough time, and you can always rearrange these shots just by touching and holding. And you'll see on the left here that ShotLister is basically telling you at each time that these shots are going to begin. So the first one's at 7 a.m., you're going to take 40 minutes. The next one's going to start at 7:40. You'll also see here we've got a linked shot, which means that both these shots will be shot at the same time. So this 45 minutes happens simultaneously, so we won't be starting the next thing until 10:45. But as any of you know, on a film set, you usually don't start shooting the very second that call time is happening. Usually everyone moseys around, has their donuts, drinks their coffees, takes things off the truck. There's usually a bit of time before you start shooting, so we have something here called a note. So if you click that, you'll create a note. We'll call this one setup, and you give it a duration. So let's say an hour. It'll pop up at the bottom of your list. So if I click and drag that up to here, I will drop it in before the header, and you will see that at 7 a.m. we start setting up, which takes an hour, so we don't actually start shooting until 8 a.m. Now the other thing you can do, of course, is delete shots. So if you just click and drag to the left, you can click delete. You will be given an option to either delete the shot, which erases it off the face of the earth, or just remove it from the shoot day, which you may want to do if you want to put it on another shoot day. So I'm just going to click remove from shoot day. You can see that it disappears there. So now the next thing to do, of course, is to add a second scene to your day. So I'm going to click the plus, and up comes the add scenes window that we've seen before. But now you see, dun dun dun, there's a half check mark here. What does that mean? Well, that means that not the entire scene has been added to this day. So if I click on that scene, I can see here that the shot that I removed from the shoot day is sitting there unchecked. So that's just something to reference of what that means. But I don't care. I did that on purpose. What I want to do is add 9A. So I'm going to click 9A and add that, click done, and in comes 9A, the scene where he gets shot with darts as he runs away. So you can see we've got this scene here, we've got this scene here, but what happens if I want to move this scene above this scene? Because maybe I want to start with this scene. Well, I could move each shot by itself by clicking and dragging and moving it up, and now I've got all these scene headers and it's going to take a long time. I'm not going to do that. That's for SAPs. What I'm going to do is go up here to the stripboard mode. So if I click this button, it will show me just the scene headers without the shots. So I can click this sort icon and move 9A above 9 and now, or above 8, and now it is above it. The other thing I can do here is delete scenes if I'd like to do that. I can also adjust the times globally. Now this is a neat trick. So for example, this scene 8 idle is scheduled right now for 4 hours and 50 minutes. If I think that that is going to be way too long, my first AD is telling me that that's terrible, I can say 4 hours and click save, and it proportionally changes all the shots within that scene to fit within 4 hours, which is very helpful. The other thing you can do here, this scene has no duration because I didn't add it to any of those shots. I can click here and add a duration, so let's say 2 hours, and click save, and it proportionally adds time to all those shots to make them fit within 2 hours, which is a good time saver. If I click done, you will now see that all these shots have durations, whereas they did not before. Isn't that magic? And down here, this scene is completely going to fit within 4 hours. Now, you will see that it moved the setup time, which was at the beginning of the day. Now it's in the middle of the day, which we don't want, so I'm just going to click and drag and move that up here. So now you can see we have our 7 a.m. time. We've got here, this is 55, we'll move that back to 60. We've got all our different shots. We've got our link shot. We've got our next scene here. Everything's looking pretty great. Okay, so the next thing to demo for you is how live mode works. But before I do that, you can see here I've got 12 hours between my call time and my wrap time and 6 hours worth of work. Well, that's not a very realistic shoot day. You're never going to have 6 hours of just time to relax. So I'm going to, just for demo purposes, I'm going to change this to say 6, what would be, let's go to 12. So now we've got 5 hours, that's not right, we've got to go to 1. Okay, so now I've got 6 hours, we're over by 5 minutes, so it's still red, meaning that you have more work in your schedule than you have available. So I'm just going to trim 5 minutes out of somewhere, let's say out of here. Hit save, and it recalculates it. So now you can see I have a 6-hour day between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. and 6 hours worth of work. So the first thing you're going to do is turn on live mode. This will turn on automatically when it's the same day that you are opening the shoot day, but you can turn it on manually by clicking this button. When I click this button, you will see that it tells me that I cannot turn it on because today is not the same day as the date. You will remember at the beginning of the tutorial I said it was August 2nd. Well, that was true, but I got lazy and did not finish the tutorial yesterday, so I'm doing it today. Today is August 3rd, so it will not let me start the shoot day because today is not the same day as the date that is here. So I'm going to change this to today, which is the 3rd, click done, click live mode, and it's still saying I can't do it. Now, why is that? That is because my wrap time is 1 p.m., and right now in my time it's 1:42 p.m. So again, I'm going to change this. You'd think I would have figured this out before I started the tutorial. Let's make it 1 p.m. as the start time. It'll readjust the wrap time. So now it should work when I click go. Alright, now we are in live mode. This is what it looks like. So if in this fictitious shoot day call time was 1 p.m., right now it is 1:43. So that means that I started at 1 p.m. I was setting up for an hour. It is now 43 minutes through that hour, and so it is calculated that to stay on schedule, I have to finish this shot, or in this case this note, in 16 minutes. And it will slowly count down to 0. giving me an idea. All I need to know when I'm shooting is quickly look, how am I doing? I don't have to do math, I don't have to figure all that stuff out. All I have to look at is this number, shot T-minus 16, which basically tells me I've got 16 minutes to finish this to stay on time. But let's say I'm doing really well and you know, everybody hustled, I was a very good motivational speaker, the actors came out of the trailer early, so we're actually ready to shoot. So I'm going to click that we are complete by clicking on that little check mark. Now these numbers have changed. So you'll see that wrap now says T-minus 16. What that means is if you look over here, I had a 6-hour day, and the total amount of work left, all these shots that are left here, totals 5 hours and 44 minutes. So it is telling me that I am 16 minutes ahead. Wrap T-minus 16. And you will see here I'm on this next shot, Alter POV, which I had scheduled to shoot for 25 minutes. But it is saying that I have 40 minutes to finish this shot. Well, that is because it is taking the 25 minutes that I said it was going to take, and it's adding the 16 minutes that I am ahead and giving me the 40 minutes that I have left to get this shot. So that is very helpful because when you are shooting, again, you do not have to do any math. All you have to look at is this number. How am I doing? I have 40 minutes to shoot this. And so that you can go through. Now you'll see this colored bar has moved through this shot, and this has gone blank. That is to show me that that is complete. What's going to happen when it gets to the end of this bar is that it'll have used up all your time. It'll go to shot T-minus 0. What will happen when it hits T-minus 0? It will start adding time to this number. It'll make it 26, then 27, and it'll start incrementing the time that it took to get this shot. And that is so that it can accurately calculate all the time that is left. So let me see if I can set up a situation where you are behind. Okay, I have created a situation here, but it's by changing some values of what it'll look like when you are behind. So say it took longer than you thought to get all these shots done. You can see that a few things have changed. The UI has gone all red, which shows you that you are not doing well. And the times have changed. So now it says wrap T+2. That means you are 2 minutes behind. If you look here, you have 6-hour shoot day. It's totaled all the work that is left at 6 hours and 2 minutes. And so it's telling you you are 2 minutes behind. If you look here at your current shot that you're working on, it's taking the amount that you estimated, and then it's taking away the time that you're behind. So it's giving you a number of T-minus 21, and that is how many minutes you have to get this shot to return to being on schedule. So if you get this within 21 minutes instead of 25, you will be back on schedule. So again, you just have to look at this number to know how you're doing, which is very helpful. A few other things that you can do while you're in live mode is that you can click shots that are not necessarily the immediate shot where there's not a check mark. So if I click this one, click it once, it will reveal a check mark, and I can click it again, and it'll move that shot up behind the current shot. So say you steal a shot later in the day, you don't have to drag it up and click because you can still rearrange things here. You can just click that check mark and it'll move it up. Any shots that you move behind the current shot will be marked as complete. So even if I grab this shot from another scene and move it up here to here, it'll mark it as complete, credit me that time, and now I'm doing very well. You can also do the other thing. If you did that by mistake, you can click a shot and drag it after the current completed shot and put it down here, and it'll mark it as incomplete. So you can still move things around even before and after the time of where you are in the shoot. A few other tips while you are in live mode. If it's not obvious, you can adjust times on all your shots while this is happening, and it'll constantly update your math. So if you're realizing that certain shots are going to take longer, you can readjust these, and it's going to always be giving you basically a readout of how you're doing. So if in this case it's saying that I'm 8 minutes behind, I can look into the future and think, okay, well, I'm not going to need half an hour for that. I'm going to bring this down and hit save. I'm now back on schedule. So that's a way of basically doing math and looking into the future and readjusting things. You can move them around to move up what's going to be more important so that you're always on schedule. One thing that I do, like say you're really behind schedule, like this is going to take a lot longer, so I'm half an hour behind now. What I will do is I will look into the future, and if I don't want to necessarily remove something from the day, but I think that I can probably do without it, I'll often look at the bottom of the shoot day and see that there's these two shots here. Instead of deleting them, I'll just bring their times down to 0, which means that they're not counting towards my total, but they're still in the shot list, so that if maybe by some miracle I catch up, I still have that data there, and now you can see I'm 7 minutes ahead. So that's one quick way of doing things. Another quick trick is that sometimes you're shooting and you come up with an idea for a shot that you want to put into here, but you don't want to have to go into scene mode, create a new shot, and then re-import it. One thing you can do that I do quite often is you can click on a shot, go down here to duplicate, hit duplicate, and it will create another shot within that scene, and then you can go ahead and change the name of it and change other stuff if you want. And click save, and there you go, you got this other shot. You can change its time, all that kind of stuff. So basically a quick way of creating shots is to hit duplicate. You can also delete things inside of live mode just like you could otherwise, and hit delete, and it'll always be recalculating all that stuff as you go. That is basically how live mode works. It's a tool to basically be doing the math for you while you're shooting. It allows you to readjust things as you go and to change all the times as you're doing it. Pretty awesome. The only other buttons we didn't cover here are the gear icons, which again allow you to customize any of the categories that you want to turn on or off. You can also have an export menu here. If you use the export menu that's in Shoot Day, it'll export a PDF of your shoot day, which is different than exporting a PDF in scene mode. And you can customize how your PDF, if it includes the times or not, with that you've estimated if you want to show your crew. But I'll go into more information about the importing and exporting features in that tutorial. Thank you very much. That is the entire Shoot Day tutorial. I know it was amazing. It was everything you dreamed, and so that's why you're going to head on over to iTunes and rate ShotLister as the most amazing thing you've ever used. Or if you hate it, just say that it sucks. Either way, going there is a really great thing. It helps other users know about ShotLister, and that helps us afford to make the product better. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at contact@shotlister.com to tell me about your life, tell me about your children, tell me about your movies, or email me about ShotLister. You can do that as well. Any other info you want to find is at shotlister.com. Thank you very much, and happy shot listing.